Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope the Canadian Open was nice, very kind to everyone. Mac Hughes put me through a little bit of hell there, but he did cash the bets gave out on the show. I ended up betting him outright too. So that was a little bit painful. Before we talk more about this week's tournament, like and subscribe, obviously, big help for us. Sam, how's it going?
Doing well. I mean, yeah, I felt like every guy I bet for last week's tournament ended up in the top 5. Corey Connors, Tom Kim, Kenzie Hughes, they all got up there and just made me sad because all of them had the chance to win. But McIntyre didn't want to run away with that until the back 9. If any of the others could have actually gotten up there and pushed him, could have turned out a lot differently there, I think.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about, I'm very happy. Well, obviously, if you saw my tweet about chopping off one of my body parts for him to have a downfall, it doesn't seem like that. But I am happy for him. I'm happy his dad was on the bag. Upset out Mac Hughes. That was very, very depressing. Yeah. I want to talk about the LPGA first, just a quick second, only because I think for the first time, my sexuality is actually in question with Charley Hull. Like, I don't know if I can do it. And she posted an Instagram story. So if you haven't seen yet, SIGs are back. Charley Hull is just ripping darts on the course in like a very cool, laid back way. Mm-hmm. And I'm obsessed with her. Like, I cannot handle it.
It's great. Honestly, it's nice to get a little bit of a spotlight on women's golf again with everything else that we've seen with women's sports lately. It's nice to see women's golf gets its own merit there. And I think it's really good for the sport that we have someone who is literally embracing the John Daly role for women's golf, because we've needed someone to take up the degenerate mantle like Charley Hull has done for us. Did you see the story about the guy who slipped her his number as well? Yeah. He dropped a piece of paper on the floor and picked it up and said, "Hey, you dropped this. It's his phone number." Yeah. She's like, "I didn't text him, but I appreciated the attempt." And for all men, I speak for all men when I say, sometime it'll work. Maybe just not now.
Yeah, I don't know if sometime it'll work, but SIGs are
shooting our shot.
Yeah, keep shooting your shot. I don't know if Charley Hull is if that's the right way to do it, but I do find that hilarious. SIGs are good for the sport. SIGs are back. SIGs inside. You come up with your. I was telling Ryan yesterday, I don't think I've ever actually inhaled a full cigarette ever. I
almost fought one of my friends for trying to smoke a cig inside my house once. So
yeah. I think that the WNBA should start smoking cigarettes, and then maybe
while they're playing on the bench.
That's what everyone could talk about.
Can you imagine Caitlin Clark just ripping a dart on the sideline?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You just can't touch the LPGA right now because the Charley Hull is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Let's talk about the tournament, though. It is the Memorial Tournament at Jack's Place. Dublin, Ohio, so kind of close to me over here. 3 golfers south and 9-1, including Scotty, obviously, who is the favorite. He is without a beard. Not sure how I feel about it.
Are we back to no bearded Scotty? I know it was gone.
We're about to find out.
I mean, look, there is a strong possibility that Scotty Scheffler, just had his minor hiccup with one bad round at the PGA Championship, and is going to go back to he's literally going to go back to overtaking the golf world. Like, it meant nothing to him. It's all over. It's time to go back and chase. I don't know if, the US Open meeting next week, if that's going to affect a lot of these top players' mindsets again. Sometimes it does. We kind of, had a little bit of a subdued Memorial Tournament outside of Victor Hovland and Denny McCarthy last year, fighting each other down the stretch there. But, I think this is as good a tournament as any for Scotty to run away with it, right? It's kind of a perfect tournament for him.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm one of the people that's not going to give a shit if he wins. I love watching him win. So unfortunately for everyone else, it's going to suck for my outrights, but I have at least kept those, to a minimum and have been just doing a lot of placements because I keep getting screwed on my outrights and it's not fun. This week, though, I do have quite a few. Anything to know other than this is a tough course. Last year, basically ranked out as the second toughest course that we saw. Sometimes it doesn't play as challenging, but Really just a premium on the approach and precision. And I looked for, these long, accurate drivers and elite irons. And putting has mattered here. So I didn't completely eliminate that.
So, one of the things I decided to note in my course preview, which you can find on Rhythm, that'll be out there every week. It's going to be out there tonight/tomorrow morning whenever I end up getting all the final edits on it done. Everything matters just a little bit more here. Distance matters a lot here. We've seen bombers make it. We've seen plotters make it as well, but one thing that does matter is getting your ball in the fairway. You want guys that are good off the tee here. So good drives gained, just total driving as, a mainstay there. We want guys that are, going to be super accurate, but can move it down the fairway. This is the 5th longest course on tour at over 7,500 yards. So you definitely want to get down there. You want to be good at par 5 scoring too. There's 5 par 5s that are all over 540 yards. You need to score on those. This is a very, very tough course. It's the 3rd toughest course on the PGA Tour schedule. I think this is, rightfully, earned the moniker that it doesn't have in being kind of the 5th major, a little bit over the players at this point. So I do think that this is the toughest test outside of the major courses. I would like to see just a leaderboard comprised of top guys like we've seen at some of the recent, big events. I think we're going to get it. Last year, kind of Scotty was not in there until the very end. Remember, he started the final round, I believe, 6 shots back of the lead and, ended up in 3rd place only because of the fact that he fired the best round of the final round. But other than that, I mean, this is a tough test for the best golfers on tour. So, we're looking at an all-encompassing approach here. Obviously, approach is paramount, but you also want to be good scrambling from the rough. This is a classic Jack Nicklaus design. So, scrambling around the rough is absolutely paramount here as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting before we get into Smash or Pass, like, a lot of these top guys that maybe were struggling a little bit in the beginning of the season are now starting to pick it up, and we're seeing them come to form. So it should be very interesting to see, because I'm going to mention some names. I'm always like, I'm not betting them. I'm a little bit more inclined on some of them this week. So we'll talk about that. Before we do, I already have the US Open /sports contest up. So very easy, $12 entry for max. The link is in the description. You pick 6 golfers. 1 gets dropped, whoever is the crappiest there, paying out top 3. So get in there if you want to get ahead. We'll talk Memorial, Smash or Pass, starting with Mr. Dumpy. Smash or Pass, Victor Hovland, top 10 plus 165.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of one of those guys that you're kind of just laying the hope that Valhalla was not a mirage. Went back to work with Joe Mayo literally like 2 days before the tournament started. He flew out to Vegas. He went to work with Mayo, got everything worked together. And all of a sudden, Victor Hovland looks like the guy who won the FedEx Cup last year and just absolutely destroyed everything going down the stretch there. Yeah. So I really like Victor Hovland this week. I don't think he's going to win again. I would be perfectly willing to bet that he gets top 10 in this simply because he's just such a good course fit here. Yeah. If the scrambling around the greens works, that's how he won. He gained over 7 strokes around the greens last year and on the greens, really putted well on those bent grass greens. Again, we saw him play well on bent grass greens at Valhalla recently. Obviously, BMW at Olympia Field is another comp course that's very similar to this last year, and he just absolutely obliterated that field in round 4. So we know he can win here. The game is starting to come back to normal. If this was 3 weeks ago with Victor Hovland, I'd say no way. But now I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I think it's not a mirage. I think he's ready, and I do think this is going to be a nice warm-up for him. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to put all his focus into placing well here and then storming the gates of Pinehurst next week to go win the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I am with you there. So I do like the top 10. He's also, we know, like he's a big, difficult conditions type guy. We saw the ball striking finally be where we thought it could be. And it's funny because golf media cannot tell us if like Ludwig is wearing a brace on his knee or if how he's doing, but they can let you know that for the second year in a row, Victor made a stop to visit the Shawshank Redemption prison. So thank fucking God we know about that.
And we love it. We love a guy who,
Thank God.
stays, on his routine there. So if that's part of his routine, then I'm all for it, man.
Top 10. Question for you. Would you, if you are interested in Hovland next week, would you bet him now or wait until after this tournament?
I already bet him. I bet him 3 weeks ago. After the PGA Championship, he was the first guy I bet.
All right. All right. Yeah. I think he's 18-1 this week, 17-1 next. So, I mean, if he ends up having a good week, now might be the time before that number maybe gets to like 14, 13, whatever it is.
Betting doesn't have to be difficult. We can be smart about things like this.
Yeah, but we make it very difficult. So, smash or pass, Kurt Kitayama, T30 plus 115.
So, I want to start this off by saying the T40 number would be a lot more desirable to take for me there. And the T40 is, if I can find it, it's minus 190. So, it's obviously not worth it to take it. I am smashing the top 30 at plus 115. I am also saying that the guy has one top 30 finish in his last 7. So if you're willing to overlook the fact that he hasn't gotten up into the 30s, he's been extremely consistent. His last 7 read T26, T23, T33, T35, T37, and T19. The 19th was at the Players, and the 23rd was at the Zurich. So he's been very consistent, in that like average to like slightly above average range lately. But I do like his form that he's gotten here. He's average in scrambling, but he can get around the greens, 6th in bent grass putting, which I really like. His approach game is where he, stands out from the rest of the field. He's gained on approach in 11 of his last 12. He bombs the ball well. His total driving is good. So I'm kind of there with him. I don't know if he's going to get the chance to really make a run at the top of this leaderboard, but I do think that his form is good enough right now that he can sneak into the top 30 there. So I am smashing this.
It's so stupid because, like, if this is dumb. It's dumb. But, like, if this was plus 150, like, I probably would be more inclined, but it's really not that big of a difference, to be completely honest. My top note for him, like, other than, like his tee to green numbers, especially his last 3 starts, have been good. And like you mentioned, he's been very consistent. He had a good statistical PGA championship, but his putting could destroy like his life and mine.
It could.
And that's where
it could, but he's a good bent grass putter, so I tend to trust it.
Yeah.
He ranks 6th in this field in bent grass putting. Like, I do think that it's there for him. He missed the cut last year. He missed the cut the year before, so he doesn't have the best record at Memorial, certainly not since the renovation, but I don't know. I'm willing to overlook some things in terms of, where he's at with his recent form, and the fact that he's gained off the tee. He's gained with driving accuracy on the field in 4 of his last 5 events as well. So I'm kind of willing to be right there with him and think that he has a good chance to contend in this tournament.
You will hate to find out that he's on my season long. So
we're all
that's
screwed.
Never
God
a
damn
good,
it. We're
screwed. A good fucking sign. Yeah, of course.
We're screwed. You might as well just tweet your season long list every week so we know who to fade.
I'm so annoyed. Yeah, it's really fucking annoying. I'm pretty sure I broke Eric Cole. Like, he was my keeper. It's my fault. I broke Eric Cole. He's like 300-1 or something insane.
I haven't told you that. Remember when he was 30-1 in signature events?
Yes, I take.
He was 30-1 at Pebble Beach.
Yeah,
I bet him outright at Pebble Beach.
Yeah, that was my fault. All right, smash or pass. This one's gonna be different than I normally give you, only because the number, at least last time I looked, it could have moved when I put this down. So we'll just call it top 20 for which of these guys would you pick? So it's not necessarily a smash or pass, but I wanted to get them both in there. It's both sitting around like plus 140. Sahith or Tom Kim, top 20.
I bet Tom Kim outright, I'll be honest.
Okay.
And the more I did research over the past 3 hours, the more I have wanted to cash out that bet more and more and more. He's at the bottom of a lot of statistical categories that I am looking at this week. His proximity numbers are not great. His scrambling numbers have not been great. A
If
lot
you
of
use
numbers
just
are
his
not great
last
with
like
him.
5 starts, though, like I think the argument is
Yes,
there for
and
Thompson.
that's where it's
Yeah,
starting to like come together for me
yeah.
is the fact that over his last 5 starts, he's just playing so much better
Mhm.
than he has been over the past couple months. We're coming off the T4 last week. He
Yeah.
really had, he came on late, but it was his most complete performance in the last 2 months in my eyes.
I think just
Our
eye test, he's like you're seeing him get like comfy again. Like he's starting to get that comfortability that we like about him, and he hasn't had that for quite a bit.
You know what I also noticed? He's starting to like get more of a pace to his game. He was
Yeah,
moving at a glacial
yeah.
pace at the PGA Championship. He got cited twice for slow play by the PGA of America. They were really coming down on him, but his driving accuracy is always going to be one of his best strengths there. The approach is going to be good as well. The putting is a little bit of an issue to me. It can be hot and cold. So can the around the green play. But I think if he's comfortable, that is kind of the key with him. And we've seen him be able to get comfortable before. Missed the cut at the Memorial last year. So, doesn't have any real relevant experience or results since the renovation, but I still do believe that I like him. Theegala is the guy that I would roll with here. I think that he got like scared straight after the PGA Championship. I think he's had a few weeks to kind of recover from that, and I'm looking forward to seeing him kind of ball out here because this is a course that's tailor-made for him, and it's a course he's played well at.
What injury did he have again?
He slipped a rib, and he was fighting cold and flu symptoms that entire week.
Allergies
So
or whatever. And they like fucking announced that the last round, and we were like, okay.
Yeah. So, but he does have a T5 here in 2022. He has a T30
did he miss the
in
cut last week,
2021.
though, no?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And he finished T58 last year at the Memorial. Like he's been hot and cold. I do think that like last week was a complete aberration. Like he didn't play well last week. And but I also didn't think that Hamilton was a good course fit for him at all. Actually, I thought it was a terrible course fit. I didn't have him anywhere. I didn't touch anything for him. And it's been one of the like 2 or 3 weeks all year that I didn't have some sort of Theegala bet on my card. You know how much I like him. So I do think this is a very, very good course fit for him. He plays well on Jack Nicklaus courses. So this is a place that I would think Theegala would play very well. I do think he's going to end up on my card in a couple ways. I think for sure I will probably end up betting him at 40-1. Top 20 is another thing I really like as well. I just haven't decided what yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I just bet him for next week. Only it was like a number play. What book did I even do it? It was 75-1. So I just
that's a terrific number.
Yeah, it's just a good number for him because he could easily have a nice finish here. It's hard because this is the exact type of course that I typically talk about nonstop about wanting to bet him. I guess I give a slight lean to Tom Kim, and I don't know when I started becoming a coward about these injury things, but I'm just so tired of like betting these guys and it ending up blowing up in my face. So moving to the next one, smash or pass, Max Homa, top 20 plus 140 as well.
Talk about a numbers play. I mean, this is like the number play for me. I bet the outright simply because it was 55-1 at FanDuel. And that was like a crazy number on like Max Homa, who has a very solid history here. T5 in 2022, T6 in 2021. Strong finishes on comp courses, T5 at Olympia Fields last year at the BMW. Played well at Valhalla with the top 35 there. The TPC Potomac comp, which is a very popular comp for this course. You have multiple crossover guys who have played well here. Max Homa won at TPC Potomac as well. So a lot of his stats are not there, though. The approach, has been a little bit worrisome. This is like, I mean, look, for me, Homa is a guy that gets up for tough tournaments and tough courses.
Yeah.
This is definitely a place that I would like to see Homa kind of get something together and put a nice event together in an effort to kind of get ready for Pinehurst next week. So, Charles Schwab was very, very off. Something looked really
Very,
off.
very off. I wanted to fucking
Really
blow my
off.
brains
It's
out.
possibly the worst single round that I've seen Homa play when he shot, I believe it was 8 over there. Very, very bad.
It was so bad. It was like
Yeah.
impossible to even watch him.
Yeah, very, very, very tough. But I mean, he's had a very good season this year. T8
Yeah.
at the API, T3 at the Masters, T8 at Wells Fargo. Like I said, played pretty well at Valhalla. Before Charles Schwab, he had gained on approach in every single tournament since Pebble Beach, where he lost 0.01 strokes on approach. So, I mean, the guy isn't losing on approach very often. He's not losing around the green very often. He's gained in each of his last 6. He's only lost strokes putting in 2 of his last 8. I think Charles Schwab was an aberration. I think a lot of people are off of him for that reason. They saw a lot of things they didn't want to see. It's recency bias. So I grabbed the number thinking that we're not going to get a number like that anytime in the near future. I already have, I've had a U.S. Open high future on him for a little while that I'm holding on to. I just think he is going to be very good. It's the driving accuracy that worries me a little bit with him, as it always does. But I do think that he can play well. He plays well out of the rough. So I'm not too worried. I am smashing the T20 on him simply because it's a numbers play. If it was any other week, he'd be minus 110.
Yeah, I think with him, like at baseline, like these long, difficult courses are typically great for him. So I'm going to kind of just ignore what I saw. Hope the driver isn't an absolute nightmare. Hopefully the putting is a little bit better, and just hope he plays like he has played the rest of the season. So next one up, a guy I obviously cannot get enough of, which is fine, but smash or pass, Lee Hodges, top 20, plus 350.
All right, so I have done no research on Hodges this week, but I like the way he's been playing lately. I'm not sure what kind of history he has here, if he's ever played the Memorial before.
I'll tell you all about it.
Let's see.
Also, like the top 30
besides the T12 last year.
Yeah. The top 30 for him too is also plus 163. If you're like Lee Hodges, give me a break. But he's coming 12th or tied for 12th his last 2 starts. He had a 24th at Wells Fargo. So 3 straight top 25s. T12 here last year. His last 2 starts, he's 4th and 6th on approach. Off the tee is obviously going to be the concern for him. But again, I'm not asking you to bet him outright, even though maybe you'll see later I did that myself. But like a top 30 plus 163 is a nice number. And I think that the top 20 is worth looking at, because plus 350 for a guy that's been very consistent just seems a little ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, I do like it. I'm looking at the Data Golf profile right now for him. The driving accuracy is very, very good. He's not going to wow you with length off the tee, but he has had a pretty, solid, if not, not spectacular off the tee game, gain on approach, gains putting, putts well on bent grass. I like it. I'm with it. I'll smash it.
This is a Lee Hodges Pro podcast. Last one here for smash or pass before we get into quad Ds. Smash or pass. Not a name that's come up a lot. A name that people are kind of not talking about as much either. Smash or pass, Wyndham Clark, T20 plus 140. There's so many guys in that plus 140 range that
I know. I looked at them all. I
wouldn't go crazy. Like I would find your 2 favorites and then go from there.
Well, I will tell you with absolute certainty that Wyndham Clark is not one of my favorites in that T20 range this week. There's a good reason that people are not talking about him. Not only is this a horrid course fit for him at a course where he has only 1 top 20 finish here in 4 tries. Lost over 5 strokes on approach at Valhalla. The iron form is truly extremely questionable from a guy that was on fire with his irons last summer. I don't think anybody played better with their irons last summer than Wyndham Clark. I don't know where the form has gone for him. I don't know if, the March/April run of the Arnold Palmer and the players and the stress of losing the players in the manner that he did kind of just fucked with his mental game. It's entirely possible. If anybody, can have a little bit of a mental lapse in terms of how it relates to their performance, I think Wyndham Clark is, I don't mean, any offense, but I think he's a prime candidate given how candidly he's spoken about how his mood can shift very, very quickly on the course, across his career. We've seen it happen a few times, but I think he has to be singularly focused on defending his US Open title right now. And I think that, that probably takes precedence over the Memorial Tournament this week. I don't know if he's going to be able to put a complete performance out there on a course that he hasn't played well at, that he has not been playing well at all in the past month or two. I'm not seeing it right now with him. I don't think there's any true reason to back Wyndham Clark. He is not playing like a top 5 player in the world. Like, he's ranked. It's just simply is just not there for me right now. I mean, he played borderline terrible the last month. So
he rated out fine.
He had the T3 at RBC Heritage, quite frankly, came out of nowhere. Cut.
Yeah.
T47, T3, cut, T31. Those are his last 5 events since the players lost. It's just not there. His best performance with his irons was gaining 0.4 strokes on the field at the Wells Fargo a few weeks ago. I don't see it right now. The only thing going for him is the fact that he has not lost any distance in his game. I'm just not there. This is a pass for me.
Yeah, he's not gained like over a stroke on approach in 5 starts. And that's where you're just going to lose me at that point. Like, and not that I don't think like he could very well finish in the top 20, but like at plus 140, like there's nothing that gets me going about that. Like, that's just not something I want to be betting. I think, I don't know. It's interesting. Sometimes a little bit of yapping going on between him and the LIV guys. What was that? The Masters. And then since then it's been a little, I don't know. He's been a little bit of a head case. So we'll see. Well,
here's something I'm noticing. If he doesn't gain over a stroke putting, he doesn't play well. That his T3 at RBC, the T2s at the Players and the API, and the win at Pebble, those have all coincided with him gaining at least a stroke putting, and he's only done it those 4 times this whole year. So I'm not saying something's up. I just think he's not focused right now. I think what would be very good for him is to use this week to get focused, play a hard course, but don't overexert himself and just kind of get out there, get through the week, and get ready for Pinehurst next week. Because as the U.S. Open defending champion, that's where his focus rightly should be right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of rubs me the wrong way too. Quad D's, who is your one and done for the week?
My one and done is Colin Morikawa. My one and done is Colin Morikawa. As you so eloquently said to me yesterday, the entire world feels like it's on Colin Morikawa. I am reading that straight from my text messages. I'm betting him. I don't care. This feels like fate. Morikawa won the Workday Charity Open in 2020. He lost here in a playoff in 2021. And I'm completely writing off 2022 and 2023 because those were the 2 worst years of Morikawa's career so far.
Sam's
so I'm completely writing those off.
Whatever years I want and push whatever narrative.
Well, ever since Morikawa has gone away from his old coach and gone back to Sessenhaus, I think that it has changed his game fundamentally. I think that he's playing better than he has really in a full year. He was 2 off the lead last year, by the way, before he had to withdraw Sunday morning with back spasms. 3rd in strokes gained total on Jack Nicklaus courses over the last 36 rounds. He's 1st in good drive percentage, so staying in the fairway off the tee. I mean, he's just having a great run of form right now as well. 3rd at the Masters, T10 at the RBC, T20 at Wells Fargo, 4th at the PGA Championship. And he's starting to gain again with his irons, 4 strokes gained in his last two starts, an average over that. So I think this is a perfect storm for Morikawa to come back here to a place that he has been very successful at and win once again. Because he's not winning next week.
Yeah.
So this would be perfect.
Yeah, Little Miss talks her shit. I am not betting on him, but I am rarely ever fucking inclined to use him for my one and done. I actually have an inclination to use him, so I am going to get rid of him this week, I think, because I don't think
I might too.
I just don't think that there is going to be a week that comes up kind of like when I used like Norin. Like, I just don't think Morikawa in my head looking towards the future. I also never fucking like picking him. So I'm going to use him. I think there's a reason to like him. Like, he's averaging like 4 strokes on approach his last 2 starts. His iron play and being able to keep it in the middle of the fairway there is something that, this also lends itself well to this tournament.
Yeah.
You mentioned his recent form. So I'm going to use him as my one and done. I will not be betting him outright, though. I don't think he has it.
Okay. Like I said, he's not winning next week. So this is the perfect time to bet him. The perfect time to bet him really would have been yesterday when he was like 18-1 at some places. Now he's down to 13-1.
Yeah, I could never.
I don't love that. I don't love that much. I don't love that much anymore.
No,
I don't love that
would
much
never
anymore.
bet
But I
him
love the
for
18.
No, thank you.
I love the 18-1.
Ugh, I wouldn't. I don't think I could ever bet him like sub like 22-1. Like, I just don't. I would vomit in my mouth. I wouldn't be able to do it. There's no way. All right, what's your dad bet?
My dad bet is where was it? Oh, there it is. Justin Thomas plus 20, minus 110, and yeah, I mean, I like it. This is again a place, a style of course that Justin Thomas really plays well at. Plays well at Nicklaus courses, played well at Valhalla. Obviously, I mean, he's finally coming back to form, right? So, 4 top 10 finishes this season, 3 at signature events, and he's gained on approach in all but 2 events this year. So this is, kind of a let's just put like good players play good hard course as well type of bet for me with Justin Thomas. There's nothing specifically saying, that's screaming at me, bet this. But I do like Justin Thomas. I do like the fact that the move to part well ways with Bones was interesting at the time, but it's kind of played really well since then. So I think JT is starting to get back to himself a little bit there. So I'm with it here. That's gonna be my dad bet, T20 minus 110.
It was up for debate for me. I wanted to do something with him. I have not bet it yet. I might bet the top 30 instead, but I just think, it's a course fit play. His ball striking numbers improved. His off the tee is at least trending in the right direction. And he just was popping up everywhere in my research. For my dad bet, I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. Austin Eckroat, top 30 plus 140, 30th last year in his debut. He shot a 77 on Sunday. So if he didn't do that, wouldn't have been quite in 30th. He's a good iron player. He's his driving accuracy is one of the best in the field. Hits a lot of fairways. He can spike with the putter. Top 30 is not a lot. I expect him to do better than he did last year. So plus 140, I will take Austin Eckroat. Top 30.
He's interesting to me. The one thing I always get curious about with guys like him is how they're going to play scrambling from like deep rough around the green.
Yeah.
I don't, the scrambling's not the best for him typically. Yeah. But I mean, I'm kind of with it. He's played well. I think he has a tiny little bit of win equity too. So we could see what we get from him. I do think that, he'll play, decently well at a course like this.
Yeah, I obviously like it because I gave it out. Another bet that there was 2 other bets I flirted with the idea only because I like I think Jason Day could maybe make something happen. I did look at his top 30 at plus 110. And another guy, this is what I mean. All the guys that I was like, wow, that I don't mind that. I hate fucking banging these guys. Like Corey Connors. I threw a fit last week if you watched the show about Corey Connors. I don't think
I had to listen to it, and I was right. I told you.
I know. And I'm admitting I was a little bit too harsh probably, but I'm not giving it out because I fucking know he has the ability to really piss me off when I bet on him. But I do think that looking at his top 20 is interesting. Who are you on for your dart?
Before we move to that, would it interest you to know that Corey Connors ranks 5th in this field in bent grass putting on very difficult courses?
No. I don't care.
No, not at all.
I'm like, I don't want to hear anything
not at all.
narrative. I don't want I just don't care. I cannot stand. I don't know why. I don't know what my problem is, but it would not.
You will become a Corey Connors gospel by the end of the year.
That'll be interesting.
Well, are we on dart throw? Justin Rose, 100 to 1.
I like it.
I like it too. The only thing that worries me is that he hasn't played here since the renovation in 2020. So we do have to worry about that a little bit. But he had his best driving and approach week of the season at the Charles Schwab. Played really, really well there. Did have a slight backdoor chance to win at one point there. I think the biggest thing to note about Justin Rose is how much I think the Ryder Cup energized him last year to like really start trying to compete, for wins again on the PGA Tour. I think, before that, he'd kind of lost it a little bit, hadn't been playing as well. And then ever since then, he's been playing really, really well. Just finished T6 of Valhalla. He won here. It was 14 years ago, but he still won here. Multiple top 10s as well. T20 in bogey avoidance, first in birdie or better percentage, second in birdie or better percentage from the rough. Always one of the best putters in the entire PGA Tour. Ranks 5th in this field in bent grass putting alongside Mr. Corey Connors. I really like Justin Rose this week. I think he should be a lot shorter than this. I think a bet that I will definitely be on, I flirted with it for my dad bet of the week, would be Justin Rose to finish inside of the top 20. You can get that at plus 250. I think that'll make it into my final betting card of the week pretty easily there.
Yeah, I don't hate it. My dart is Lee Hodges. 220 to 1 is just dumb. MGM has it at 100 to 1. He's just been playing well. Fine course fit. I'm a little obsessed with him right now. But again, 220 to 1, when other books have him at 100 to 1, that's just ridiculous for the form that he is in. Who is your dumb fuck bet?
One more dart throw. I'm going to bet Nick Taylor at 300 to 1.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Just because
you're done. You're done. No, you're not.
I am. You can't stop me.
Okay. You should just make that your dumb fuck bet, I think.
No, my dumb fuck bet is Hideki Matsuyama T5, 7 to 1.
It's dumb though.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's horrible. This is like we haven't seen him. He's only played twice since the Masters, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you're contending that the guy won't have like one of his freak like neck issues again that he tends to have the week before a major. Like we've seen that, I think, like 3 times.
I mean,
has he
played?
like 2 years.
Last time we saw him?
We have not seen him in a little while. I think since the Wells Fargo. I think that's the last time we saw him play was the Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
T16 is his only notable finish since the renovation, but he's playing some good golf, 2 top 7 finishes, and a win in his last 6 events. Playing well on approach, 9th scrambling from the rough. The 175 proximity ranks 9th for him. I mean, I like him. I guess the dumb fuck bet would really be picking him to win the week before a major. So I guess we can flip to that 45 to 1. That you can still get Hideki at some places there. I don't know. I struggled to find a dumb fuck bet. I guess my dumb fuck bet is truly going to be Nick Taylor.
Yeah. Just wait. So you guys thought Kelly Craft was stupid.
Oh dear God. Who did you find in the field of 73?
Oh,
that's gonna
don't
piss me
worry.
off
I
this
can
much?
always find it. And this is another,
All
they're a little bit of lady boner action kind of maybe swayed me towards this.
Please don't.
This
Please
is a
don't say what I
player.
think you're gonna say.
This is a player that plays
please don't.
like absolute fucking horseshit at Colonial.
Oh dear God.
A lot of people do not know his name. Not shocking. He wears a very nice chain and unbuttons his shirt a little bit.
Not
And it
this.
does something to me. He rated out solid in my model, also solid in Bet the Numbers model. I think he was like 20 something in mine, 17th in theirs. His driving distance is good. We'll leave it at the driving distance for the good things. It's Chris Goddard up.
Yeah, I know it.
Plus
I know.
188. Yeah, I love it. I don't even care.
300 to 1. And you guys thought my 300 to 1 bet was dumb. At least I picked a guy who's won a major tournament before.
I gave out top 40 plus 188. I'm not even asking for much. I bet stupider things. I should parlay him and Spieth into one, and it's like a
that's
just
might just explode. It might just explode at that point. I think Chris Goddard has a healthy chance to finish last in this field. How the hell did he get into this simply because he won Myrtle?
Someone needs to fucking root for these guys, and I will.
We know someone. Matt Gannon will root for Chris Goddard up every day of the week. Good. Let Matt root for him.
Goddard up, got me up. Like, listen, I am betting on him. Period. I don't care what you guys say. Okay. The gold chain, the unbuttoned. It's just it does something.
I knew as soon as you said gold chain who it was.
Oh my God! Yeah, I don't know.
For a second, I was worried you were gonna say like Peter Malnati or some stupid thing like that, or. How about 2,500 to 1 Brandt Snedeker? How the hell did Brandt Snedeker?
I don't know. I don't think.
Did you see that Brandt Snedeker shaved his head like full chrome dome?
I kind of fuck with that. That's cool. Is
full chrome dome. He's fine. Embracing it.
Yeah,
midlife crisis possibly. Midlife crisis.
Yeah, I don't know. 2007 Brittany, who knows? I'll just like I'm gonna bet Sam Bennett next week. Like it's like I have a problem with these guys. I just need someone to root for them. I'm going to be the person that does that.
Before we bet Jake Knapp this week. Maybe I'll do that.
He rated out pretty well, but I don't know. I think he's like everyone really loves when these young guys win, and then they want to bet them every fucking week, and it does not pay off the way.
Well, I'm going to tell you why I like Nick Taylor so much. The par fives are great. The approach, even though the approach is what's throwing me off because it hasn't been there at all since Waste Management.
Sure,
but he's just so good. He's so swaggy, and
he's swaggy.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a very confusing definition of swaggy. Like swaggy? Oh no, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch more swaggy videos of Nick Taylor before I can say anything else. We're gonna get out of here on the swaggy Nick Taylor part. Be sure to check out Rhythm because Sam just hit a really nice birdie on a hole at plus 750 for Rory. So
yay to be in the degenerate.
Yeah.
But yes, go check out Rhythm. You'll absolutely love it. Both of us use it very heavily, and we love it. We love it.
Yeah. We're probably going to go through some of it next week on the show for the US Open. We'll try to get that episode out earlier because I know everyone is always itching for those bets on a major week. Be sure to like, subscribe. I will be back Thursday with some fantasy football, more futures, and good luck this weekend. Let's win some monies.
Watch him make it, break it down.